open。现在我们去这个 Colonial Plantation 去看一下，已经有人进去了，我们跟在他后面。It's closed, the garden. Hi. Oh, need a mask?
Oh, okay. You came prepared.
Oh, that's chicken.
Yeah.
See, that's the same my chicken.
Oh, really?
I have two.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Right. Well, you will see chickens. What do we have? There's geese. There's a turkey. There's 2 pigs.
Ooh.
There's 2 horses. There's a ox. Yeah. So you'll see a lot of animals.
What's that?
Oh, these are erasers. We sell 50 erasers for 50 cents. I was just they come apart, so I'm just putting them together.
Oh, that's cute.
We have ones together in a little box over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of funny things.
Yeah.
So we buy ticket here?
Yeah. So for adults, it will be $10 a person.
I'm sorry, all once.
Oh, that's good. Are you kidding? That's great.
You need this?
No, that's for yes.
Okay.
I do need that. So
Okay.
I'm just going to put you in.
That's
no,
good.
that's perfect. Thank you for that. All right,
No problem.
Whoops. Did I do that? I need my glasses. All right. So $20. Charge 20. New sale. Okay. So just so you know, you're welcome to take one of each of these. This is about the 18th century farmhouse, which you can take a tour of. This is about the plantation itself. On the back of that is a map of the different buildings. You don't absolutely need that because once you go up there, there will be people dressed in the colonial clothes who will explain things to you.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
It is good. So I'm just going to give you a heads up on a couple things. So when you exit here, you're just going to follow the gravel path. You'll see a fence on the right. Just follow the fence, and you will easily see the 18th century farmhouse at the top. As you're walking up there, if you're interested, there's one tree stump. If you were to stand, or you're probably tall enough, but if like someone like myself, if you were to stand on the tree stump,
Thank you.
see you later. If you were to stand on the tree stump and look over the fence, you will see 2 female pigs who were born this spring.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
just
that's
so you know
good.
that.
Thank you.
And then as you continue up, you'll pass the kitchen garden on the right. And like I said, there'll be people out there dressed in the colonial clothes who will explain things. I also have to tell you, to the right of the farmhouse up the slope is a modern day bath.
This is honey, right?
Yeah, also so that you know, the honey comes from the plantation. When you're up there, if you go to the ladies' room, and if you stand outside the ladies' room, look up the hill, you'll see some trees. That's the orchard. And the honey comes from the orchard.
Oh, okay, thank you. Should I take a picture here? Wow, 这个农场很大。I think that the tree roots should be 1,000 years old. 那里面有一个大树的根呢，可能有 1000多年了。What's this tree? She tell us where's the chestnut. No, walnut. Corn. 这里还种玉米了，刚才是那个核桃啊，野核桃。这里还长了玉米。I think nobody clean the grass here. They cannot grow very good. 没有人除草，那个玉米长不好。哇 ，see the tree roots, how big the tree roots. ”哇，这个农场很大，我们现在可以去菜园里面看看。We go the garden to look. We go this way first. What's this? The rose? 这个应该是南瓜。哇，那有一个南瓜，啊，那也有一个。I think somebody bite it. Maybe squirrel bite it. Did you see here? Ooh. Oh, somebody bite it. I think a squirrel bite it. Oh, every one squirrel bite it. Garlic. Do you think a garlic? No?
I don't know what that is.
Scanin, I think. That's a scanin. What's that? I don't know this either. 这个我也不认识。哇，这个栅栏挺酷啊！Ooh, there is a big one. Did you see? Ooh, this one huge. 这个超大呀，这个。
Take care of it. She's like, after that we can leave the gate open. They don't even mess with it.
Oh, I think this is sweet. 这个我也不认识。
They don't even mess with it.
这个我也不认识。
They don't even mess with it.
哦，I think this is sweet. This is sweet. Oh, they have many. What kind of melon? What's this growing?
Yeah, they're Jerusalem orange. They actually got blown over in the wind, and I have some other ones over there that they look like little nuts.
Raspberry. I only know this.
What's that? Yeah, some people like them. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were really good. I had pasta made with the flour of them too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's anything you know or is it the corn?
Ooh, what's this?
Not sure. Google it.
Well, yeah, American history, basically what you're seeing here is American Revolution. Yes, the red tent.
You have to go up and ask them where the privy is.
Where's the pretty?
Privy.
What's mean?
They won't understand unless you say privy.
I don't know. Pretty.
Privy.
Pretty. Ooh, that's so cool.
How are you?
Good. How are you? You look so cool.
Thank you. Thank you. This is an accurate replica of...
Can I take a picture?
Oh, sure.
Ooh.
I try to keep it as accurate. Is an 18th century era plantation. Now, plantation has a definition in Pennsylvania. If you own a piece of land that is 100 acres or smaller, you own a farm. If you own a piece of land that is 100 acres or larger, but less than 1,000, you own a plantation.
Oh, thank you.
Above 1,000, that's a manor. And these are laws in Pennsylvania during William Penn's proprietary. It's left with him. Oh, there's Annie, the cat.
Ooh. Hi,
There's Annie, yes, she's one of the mounters. She has a job here, just like all the rest of us.
Mimi. That's cute. How old?
She's only a year old. She's like a year or two.
Oh, baby.
She's still got her career ahead of her. She just owns the place, you know. Anyway, the period, our historic period, is like 1760 to 1790. The Revolutionary period, you know, a little before the Revolutionary War, to just after the Constitution, the real formative years. But the Pratt family, who built this plantation, came here in 1720.
Oh,
And they stayed until 1820.
wow.
So what you're seeing when you're here is a plantation is the representation of about 1790, but its history does go back. For instance, in 1720, when the Pratts got here, all of this was not here.
Oh,
But Penn did have this law. If you got land from William Penn, you had to put an improvement. You had to build something
Yeah,
on that
yeah.
land, or he'd take it back.
uh-huh.
It was called to escheat.
Okay.
He wanted settlers, not speculators. So he forced the speculators to invest. That's the deal. So when the Pratt family came here, they wanted to make the land pay them by farming it. And when they got here, some of the work was already done for them. That little building right there, with the oxblood-colored paint, that's been here since about 1685 or so.
Uh-huh.
Part of the foundation of what would be the big barn was here. The well over here, the spring house, they were here in 1720. But as for the big house, only the one-third on the right.
Oh, small.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, only one-third.
Building, that's the original house.
Oh.
And it's supposed to be pushed back in time. Really, that's the original house.
Oh.
That one is about 1680.
Wow.
This thing was built just after 1700.
They use stone, so the house is strong, huh? They keep long.
Oh yeah, and they
Yeah.
knew exactly what they're doing. I mean, that way is northeast. It's right up against the hill. The last hurricane through here was Irene. Irene flooded that hill pasture down there completely. Had water running everywhere. The trees were whipping around like rubber. Didn't ruffle a shingle on the house. Did not flood the crop field.
Thank
They
you.
knew what
That's
they were
good.
doing back in those days and laid out so they got around the weather and they prevent against it. And if you'd like, we can go inside and have a look at the maps. I'll show you when and where we are.
Okay, thank you. I want to go inside to look. Take a picture.
Oh, Annie.
Take a picture, though.
Oh, yes, we're going to get to her.
Oh.
That's where I dropped you off at her station. Anyway, here are our two maps. This one is the Philadelphia area in 1777, and this one is the local map, same time. So, let's have a quick look at Philly. This is Philadelphia
Oh.
in 1777. This is Philadelphia. This is William Penn's plans for his city between the rivers. Nowadays, this is Philadelphia. It's all in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stop for just a moment.
Where we are here?
On this map, we're not here.
Oh.
This is Cobb's Creek. It's Cobb, then Darby, then Ridley, then Crum, then Ridley, and that's on this map. So we'll be on
okay.
this one. We'll be on that one.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you a quick story on this map, though. This is the old colonial layout. Mud Island or New Fort is now Fort Mifflin. You can go there and visit them, just like you can here. Hog Island is gone. All that's left is the name, Hog Island Road, because it's the perimeter of the airport. But in the First World War, America needed to build ships. And Hog Island was just a muddy mess. So they built a shipyard on Hog Island. It took about 1 year. It was built from mud to launching ships. 1 year. Lots of big burly steelworker types. Even in wartime, they ordered special trolleys to get them back and forth to work, standing room only cars called Hog Island cars. Well, these guys, big burly steelworker types, aren't they? They take a loaf of French or Italian bread, they slash it the long way, put everything they like to eat on that and call it lunch. Well, after a while, the guys who worked at the shipyard and their sandwich got a nickname. People began to call them hoggies.
Hoggies. Oh, the hoggies come from here. Oh, that's
That's it.
first to know. Oh, thank you. Learn a lot.
Yeah, we got the whole Revolutionary War on that map, and the most interesting story is where the hoagie comes from. But you're right, that's where the hoagie gets its name. Now, if you come out here in the map, this is Philadelphia, 1777. Philadelphia City Hall stands here now.
Ooh.
This is 30th Street Station,
Uh-huh.
69th Street, and the terminal are right here. And here's the fulling mill, which nowadays is called Millboard. You only stop on the L with a name and not a number. And 69th Street is right there. So our farm would be out there somewhere if this map went that far.
Okay.
So here's our map, our local area.
Okay.
And this is the plantation here in Edgemont.
Oh.
That little red dot, that's where you are. And this is Ridley Creek, and you see it right there. Right there.
Oh. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. See the creek?
Uh-huh. This was one of the best placed plantations. Because he's got his farm house with the field centered on the house, right on the creek. Everybody else, the creek is somewhere else, but look how much of it he's got on his land.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
you can harvest the wheat,
Half.
put it on a boat, and just float to Sycamore Mills.
It's very good place.
Well, around here, the cash crop was wheat. Everywhere from Virginia, where too far north for tobacco, up north to where you couldn't grow wheat. It was the breadbasket of the world. We shipped an awful lot of wheat. And that's where Pennsylvania made its money. So one of the big crops was wheat. As well as timber, masts, barrel staves, you name it. It was here in abundance. So when the Pratt family first gets here, the year of 1720, you'd be standing outdoors. I'm standing where the old outer wall was. And when they got here, this is what they saw.
See the cabinet. Ooh.
Now we have different furniture.
I know
but
this
these are
one.
Their walls. Yeah, we probably have different furniture, and we don't have cracked furniture.
Oh.
But we do have stuff like they would have had at that time. So you're looking at a 1720 room. The Pratts were not poor. They could have some nice
Yeah,
furniture.
that's very good.
This one, or the corner cabinet. You got the blanket chest. Very often, furniture was painted rather than...
When I was little, I think my parents like this.
Oh, this is a very common thing back in the old days, what they call a blanket chest.
Yeah.
Exactly what you kept in there was woolen. Notice how it's all cedar.
Uh-huh.
That's where your cedar went. Underneath us is a root cellar. Above us are 2 bedrooms and an attic. And that's the house.
That's cool.
The family, of course, used the bedrooms. And this room is every other room. Every room that's not a bedroom. This is the dining room. This is the living room. This is where the kitchen where you cook back here.
Oh.
It's got a walk-in fireplace, and it is dangerous and inefficient, but it's the best they have. Everything takes place way at the back. When you, that would be you, you're the woman, you'd be in here cooking. About a quarter of your day would be spent right about here messing with stuff.
You light the fire here?
Yeah, that's where the fire would be. It's right here.
Oh.
We're not going to fire this one up because it is way inefficient and makes a mess of the rest of the house. But you'll see what I'm running when we get to the other end. As time went by and they put additions on the house, this was turned into a bake oven and a new better stove was built. But this is where they'd hang out, you know. This is where everything takes place. Every room is sort of a general room. Like the bench over there, you just fold that down, there's your dining room table.
Oh, put down just a table. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So the kind.
The men would end up out in the fields, the women, of course, would take care of the dairy and the smaller animals, the gardening, and of course the house. Yeah.
Do you know?
What's in that room?
This door goes to the root cellar where we have a fan trying to keep the mud from being absolutely souped. Above us are 2 bedrooms, and I can show you those. Now, they built staircases like this because this uses the least material and labor.
Oh.
So do what I
I
do.
have idea.
Stay on the right.
Sure.
We'll use the rope.
Mm-hmm. My feet is small. Easy feed me. Oh. So all furniture from that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
This is all replica furniture with a few exceptions. But for instance, you can sit in a chair, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
We do have a couple of true antiques, the bedsteads, this part. The wooden part, that is an 18th century bedstead with one piece of rope woven back and forth to hold up the bed. This is the bed.
Oh.
To a colonial person, the bed is just a sack of straw. That's the bed. Don't need a bedstead, that's optional.
Uh-huh.
All right.
That's
But-
cool. I think that's good for body.
Oh yeah.
Healthy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're quite comfortable. You have to change the straw a lot. You can't let it get damp. You know, you can't let bugs into it. I mean, it was high maintenance, but it was a lot more comfortable than just flopping on the ground. You know? But there might be 3 kids in that bed.
Ah.
You know, all the brothers get their room, all the sisters get their room. There might be like 2 heads up there, one down here in the middle.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. That is called sleeping tight.
Oh.
That is to sleep tight.
Sleeping tight.
A crowded bed, sleep tight. Yeah. Actually, back in those days, you might want to be sleeping tight. Because when you go to bed, this room could be freezing temperature.
Uh-huh.
There's no
Yeah,
fireplace
yeah.
in here.
I think the winter day is good.
Yeah.
Keep
yeah.
warm.
It turns out that would be advantageous.
Uh-huh.
Of course, there's no plumbing.
The window is cool. Oh, so this one can open different height,
Right,
huh?
right. Yeah, there's no counterbalances or anything behind them. It's a single hung sash with just that piece stick to hold it open.
That's a
Of
good
course,
idea.
sometimes the weather is so bad that you're just not going down to the privy. So here's one here.
Oh.
You keep that half full of water.
You know why? When I was little, we have that too because we leave the city, we don't have inside the toilet. So if at night when I get up and go pee, my mom won't want me take me go. She said, go the we have another room, but not a bedroom.
Yeah.
We put things, a
yeah,
container,
another
another
room
room.
for the
Yes.
bathroom, yeah, those would eventually get built in, but of this era, no. It's the outhouse and the chamber pot. Even palaces for kings were laid out the same way. There was what they called the garderobe. That was off in some corners, you know. It's like the outhouse, it's just built into the castle wall.
So you have to go in the outhouse when you go to pee today.
Yeah, I have to go.
Actually, we have them up at the top. Nice, modern, state-of-the-art park bathrooms right up the top of the hill. Can't miss it.
Okay.
All right, here's the master bedroom. This is Mom and Dad's room.
Oh, that's nice.
Not
Oh, I
bad.
think they're rich.
Well, they're well set in the middle class.
Do you think this one from that time or this?
Well, they don't mind a little decoration. They were Quaker, so they're not going to be extravagant. But this you can close up and trap a little heat in here at night and so forth. So it's got its practical aspect. And back in those days, you know how the kids would invite somebody up to in their room to play video games? Well, you know, people hung out all over the house, including in the bedchamber. So
what's this for?
Oh, no, that's kind of interesting, that.
Yeah, I never see this.
Well, like I mentioned in the other room, you could come up here at night and to find the bedrooms are right about freezing cold, which means the bed is too. So you would take coals from the fire, put them in here, slip this underneath the covers and start doing like that.
Oh, make it warm.
It's called a bed warmer.
By the warmer.
You just keep going until it's as warm as you want, then you dump the ashes in the fireplace and go to bed.
这个是17几年的人就能制造出这么先进的东西来让床温暖起来，冬天的时候真的太有才了。
All right, and the people who slept in here, this is laid out the way we would do it. Chances are they had a couple more pillows and slept reclined. Nobody wrote down why, that's just the way they did it. But you think there's 4 open fireplaces and you're always around a fire that's operating, so maybe it's just more comfortable. That's a guess,
So cool, that's for the baby, huh?
Big baby though, right?
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, this house is a dangerous place for toddlers. Think of that staircase. And there's 4 open fireplaces like this.
Oh yeah.
So a child who's just big enough to walk, but not big enough to have any sense at all. You know, so at night, baby is wrapped up so they can't get away, laid in the cradle, and then the cradle will be on the bed next to mom.
Nice to, yeah.
Okay, so, and that works just fine. But in the daytime, that doesn't work at all. So, baby's clothing has a little gusset on it, like this, in order to close it for size. But the strings on baby's clothing are like 4 feet too long.
Oh, cannot go longer.
And Mama's apron strings are also a good 4 feet too long, and she would tie the two together, and that's how you kept track of baby during the daytime.
Oh my God, they have smart idea.
It is called, well, as a matter of fact, there was an insult among children. When the kid was on the playground, "Is really what it is, Mommy," and he was too old to be doing that. "What are you, still tied to your mother's apron strings? Grow up." And that would be the insult, and that's where the phrase, "tied to your mother's apron strings," comes from.
That's so
All right.
cool.
The next way down.
Oh.
Yeah, the house went up in stages. This is where the old outer wall used to be.
So from here, they built a new later
Well,
on.
what they did was they did the same thing we do. They put an addition on the house.
Yeah. I want to do that too. Make my house bigger.
All right, I'm going to stop just for a minute. Now, all our chairs and stuff you can sit in. They're replicas. If we come to an antique, I will point it out, and here is one.
Okay, thank you.
This is one right here.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah, this is called a clothes press.
Uh-huh.
If it was painted fancy and it had a lot of drawers, it would be the French version called an armoire, but it's a clothes press. Big, it's sort of like a closet. Big open space over a couple of drawers. Very popular type of furniture in that day. And if you look at it carefully, you can see how it's held together by pegs.
Yeah.
Really, an extremely careful workmanship. This was built about 1750.
1780.
1750.
1750.
Yeah, a long time.
1750年。
Yeah, just call it 300 years. And we don't polish it. That's the look of natural aged walnut.
The wood is very good. They can keep so long.
Oh yeah, this is the natural look of that wood at that age. So like I said, the Pratt family put an addition on the house. So it didn't look like this though. It looked much like the other. They just built another version, a copy of that house, but smaller up against it. The back wall only came back to here. Right? And this fireplace went all the way to the wall. And that was their new room, just right here. Well, after a few more years went by, they had more people living here. They needed more houses. They expanded this part a little bit. But in 1790 is when the big deal came along. Yeah, I'll say that. It's when the big deal came along and they remodeled the house.
Candle.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
That's really good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just backing up in a world that's only by fire, and you have to think about candles, lanterns, fireplaces, and then that stuff starts to make sense really quickly. So this is a spice cabinet. You kept your spices locked up. Would you lock up nutmeg and cinnamon today? No. But it was so expensive then that you locked it up.
Oh.
And it's not because your servants were dishonest. Probably they were not. They were probably perfectly honest people. But this stuff was so valuable it became a temptation. An indentured servant could buy time off of their indenture contract with cash. That turns this into a temptation. Because you take a stick of cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg, nobody's going to miss it. But it's good. Keep that up for a couple of years. So anyway, my dad had a phrase for that. He said that's the kind of lock that keeps honest people honest. It just reminds you not to yield to that temptation. So anyway, along about 1790, they finally got to the point where they didn't have to have every room performing multiple things. And they finally built a purpose room. And that's the modern kitchen we're about to go into. And when they put that new kitchen on in 1790, they remodeled the first floor right over to the outside hallway. So that's when the formal parlor was created. That's when the shotgun hallway went in. And this is where the formal occurred.
What's this for? Just a decoration?
That's something we don't use too much anymore. It's called a fire screen. And let's see.
Do you know what's this? No?
Let's say you want to do type of embroidery to do, or you have the farm books to do, or the kids had homework to do. You have your choice. Candle, lantern, fireplace. Well, the fireplace is much more light, but also much more heat.
Oh.
So you place this.
Oh, cover face.
Turn yourself on fire.
Oh.
And then set it up. So that most of the heat is going to hit this. But that light is still going to come in here.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So a fire screen, the pattern is called chrysanthemum, and it is a copy of one that is at Winterford down in Delaware. They call it chrysanthemum. I don't know why, but that's the name of the pattern. Doesn't look like chrysanthemum to me.
I think there's a bowl from China.
Oh yeah. Remember, anything available in the British Empire could be had through Philadelphia. And if you wanted some decorative china from China, it was perfect. There's a fair chance that somebody in Philadelphia actually had it on the shelf.
Oh.
All right, so in 1790, they put like a ride, 70 years of good hard work. So they put on the brand new, up-to-date, every possible convenience kitchen for $17.90. So I'm going to take you in there and introduce you to Sarah, who's making today's meal.
He was a, very old-fashioned kind of guy. He didn't know how to store.
Oh my God.
Hello!
You guys
There is
look
everything
so
in this
cool.
room a woman could want, with the possible exception of a decent husband.
So we are busy putting the finishing touches to the main meal of the day, which is going to be our dinner. So over the fire there in that black Dutch oven, I have duck, and I'm cooking it with an onion and cucumber sauce.
Ooh.
And I made some bread earlier. This is our bread, which is made with wheat and rye flour. And I have pickles all ready to go. Pickled mushrooms, some pickled beets, turnips and carrots. And the last thing I'm going to do is finish off my apple tansy, and I also have to cook up some beans. I'm making a ragu of green beans, which is what these are for here.
Wow.
So this was the main meal of the day. As I said, it wasn't what we would call this lunch if we were looking at eating a meal in the middle of the day, but lunch was a word that had not actually even been invented at this point. So we're cooking food that would have been available this time of year. It's all seasonal, and we're also cooking food that would have been the kind of thing that the people that lived in this area would have eaten, and that is food that comes from basically British origins. So the diet was very heavy in carbohydrates, butter, yes, a lot of dairy, a lot of butter in particular, and also a lot of meat.
Wow.
So we have a fairly small group of people here today, so I'm not going crazy, but people used to consume a lot of calories, and of course their constant fear really was getting enough to eat, not eating too much. So by the time you got to the end of the winter, you would have hoped that you would have pickled and dried and smoked and cured enough meat and vegetables to last you through the season when there was nothing growing in the garden. But even so, by the time you got to about March, a lot of people would be suffering from symptoms of what we would now call scurvy. They actually called it the winter sickness. So it was an endless battle. So I have fresh beans here, but you would also be pickling beans. You'd be drying them. Some of the beans that are grown were grown for shelling and drying. Some would be pickled. Pickling actually was a very, very popular form of food preservation because it's very easy to make vinegar. Now you can preserve things with sugar, brandy, but even today brandy is not cheap, and in the 18th century sugar was still quite a luxury, especially white sugar, like the stuff in that little sugar cone there. So you see a little blue sugar cone. That's how you'd have bought your sugar.
Oh, that's cute.
Wrap it and seal it up.
Oh.
That's how they did it back then.
So we have these sugar nippers there, so you'd have to use those to actually break bits of sugar off and then grind it up, which is what Sarah is currently doing.
It hurts your hand.
Yeah, she's making some powdered
heavy?
sugar for me.
Yeah, so you just got like regular grounded sugar and just grind it up by hand.
Yeah. So she's making some powdered sugar, which I'm going to
That's a lot of work.
on top of my tansy. So there would have been about 12 to 15 people living and working here during the period that we interpret. So if you were cooking, you would not have been alone at all. You would have had a daughter maybe helping you, perhaps an indentured servant. There were also, we know, a total of 4 people who were enslaved here, and that is something that sometimes has surprised people because they think, Quakers, weren't they against slavery? And yes, they were. In fact, Pennsylvania was one of the first the new states to actually outlaw slavery. But Quakers like to do things by consensus. So they don't just go around declaring that something is no longer legal. They want to speak to people. And for a century, the elders of the meeting houses around here would travel around to farmers who still own slaves and speak to them about the morality of it. Because and throughout the 18th century, there were a lot of slaves that were manumitted. They were usually employed as help in the kitchen with the mistress to help the children, farm work. There was a perpetual labour shortage. Or if you were in the city, where actually most of the enslaved people did live, you were usually a personal servant of some kind. So it was a different kind of situation, but Pennsylvania was one of the first of the new states to outlaw slavery. I think it was 1784, I think? I'm not quite sure, somewhere around there. So that was after a whole century, so it certainly didn't happen immediately. So basically, just to let you know that you would not have been working, I would not have been working here all by myself, cooking for 15 people every single day.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
a
have
lot.
had help, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Do you have any questions?
I have one question. When you put a thread, you use the pin, right?
That's right, yes.
They won't hurt you?
No. Well, I'm wearing stays anyway. But we learn to use the pins. They don't hurt at all. I mean,
Unless they're like loose and they poke you.
Yes. Amish women still pin their clothing. And this is partly because it does make your clothing very easy to fit. And during the 18th century, you know, you would frequently be pregnant. So it was a way in which you could just adjust your clothing to your size as you sort of grew and shrank throughout the months. But no, I'm also wearing, we also wear stays, which basically, well, mine are not fully bone stays. They're like heavy canvas, not really a corset, because it only comes down to your waist, really. It goes from here to your waist, and it holds you upright in the what was then the fashionable look, which was basically rather flat and cone shaped.
So look at me, I'm not wearing them. So.
Yeah, she's not wearing stays. Yes, I am wearing stays. I mean, they're very comfortable. I really don't know I'm wearing them, to be honest. But clothing was designed to fit over stays, and the stays have got steel boning in them. So I've never got pricked by. Occasionally, if the binding on my stays wears through, a little bit of the steel boning might poke me. But I have worn modern underwear that's way more uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
Way more uncomfortable. This is just what I wear.
Learn a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I don't get pricked.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's also
Thank you very much.
I don't have to sew buttons on. But this is where, you know, have you ever heard the phrase pin money? People work, women, you know, earning pin money. They were always losing pins. That's why. Because, you know, I'm always losing pins, they fall out. And, you know, it was one of the things that you had to keep replacing if you were a woman, because you were always losing your pins, so you need to get more.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
Thanks.
So let me just...
This is the water come from? Whoa, yeah. I remember when I was little, we had this.
Captain comes from the north here. Good day.
You too.
And where are you folks from?
We're from around here.
Not far. 20 minutes. But the first time for me.
Well, it's a pretty cool place.
Yes.
Most of our visitors are local, but we get them from all over the world. We had people from Russia here a little while ago.
Oh.
So.
See the fire, no container, just fire like this.
Yeah, just like a little fire pit. Yeah. It's been so wet the last few days. It's safe to do that. But
That's cool.
Our little soldier fire going.
So that time they use like this gun?
Yes, this is my flintlock rifle. And I've already fired it once, and you can see how grimy it gets from the gunpowder.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh yeah.
so what I do is I wipe it down because it's not a musket. So a musket's a lot bigger than this. And a musket, you can get 3 shots off in a minute. But the range of a musket is very, very short. So this rifle, it would take me about 2 minutes to load. But the range on it is about 150 yards. And it's very accurate. So
Wow.
it's a hunting weapon and a sniper weapon.
Oh.
And the Germans were making rifled weapons, and it's not loaded. You can see the grooves in the steel.
Yeah.
So the bullet spins, it grips them, and it spins when it comes out. The Germans brought this technology over, and in Pennsylvania, up around Reading, they were making rifled weapons. But in Germany, the barrel was like that, because they were hunting elk and things like that, which we didn't have here. So the American colonists lengthened the barrel and made the caliber smaller. So this is 45 caliber. The German guns were 60, 70 caliber. This is 45. So this, and it's called Pennsylvania rifle.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So
Pennsylvania rifle.
can load up and fire for you if you'd like to see it. Like to, okay, well, why don't we do that? And this is my pick. And I got to make sure that hole there is clear.
Oh.
So, and the first thing I'll do, just take a cartridge, and this has a measured amount of gunpowder in it for this weapon.
Ooh.
Now, we're not allowed to shoot bullets here, which is probably a good call by the state. So we just shoot the powder.
Oh.
But otherwise, there would be a bullet inside here, about maybe 44 caliber. And first thing I do, just light that off, and I put some gunpowder here, what's called the pan.
See, that's so cool.
And I close it over. Now, when I'm ready to pull the trigger, the flint will hit the steel and spark, and that will ignite the gunpowder. And that blows up and sends a spark inside that little hole, and that blows up the gunpowder here and shoots out. When everything goes right. In the movies, these guns go off every time, but in reality, they're very temperamental. And the rest goes down the barrel.
Oh, half.
A little more than half down the barrel.
Oh, okay.
And then I would take a piece of cloth called a patch, and it would be oiled up, or I'd swish it around in my mouth, put it on top, and then the bullet on top of the patch, and then you ram it down, and that's what takes a couple minutes, because it's got to be a tight fit.
Oh.
And you always put your ramrod back, because if you lose your ramrod,
Next time you cannot do.
right, you've got a club. So. And now, it's at half cock, so don't go off half cock, it won't go off. And now, full cock, and I'm ready. So you stay right there, you would. And I'm looking for an officer, a British officer, wearing a lot of gold on his uniform, or with a sword, or standing like this. Or if he's being saluted, I know that's who I'm looking for. Fire in the hole, I'm gonna shoot!
Ready? Woo! That's so cool.
And that's the rifle. So that would be accurate to about a football field and a half or more. And a day like this would be good to shoot. There's not much wind.
So. Thank you.
But
That's
it is
really
humid.
cool.
And so you can see from just that one shot that I'm going to have to wipe it down again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And that's a Pennsylvania rifle. And
Honey? They have honey. Oh, I didn't see here. I saw the little creek. Hi. So what's this fire for?
For the candle wax.
Oh. I thought for warm outside. What's this?
I guess it's for making horseshoes.
Oh. Yeah, I remember that things when I was little. That's two pointy things. Yeah, I think for horse.
Anvil.
No, I don't know how to call. Here for cabinet. Here for picnic. Picnic, right?
Say it in Chinese.
这个是核桃，野核桃。这个炸开里面的核桃很好吃，也很有营养，但是因为它长得不光滑，里面很难拿出来，就是加工很费力。但是剥掉外面这层皮，里面的那一块就像橘子的白色的那一部分，它是黑色的，它可以做成染料，有很多公司来收啊，做染料。So we are done, right? 那好嘞。Chicken lay egg. Oh, big turkey. Oh, they use this, see? Hi, turkey. You are so big. 这个火鸡太大了。哇，那有 How many pounds do you think? 30 pounds?
Maybe.
好像有30磅重。哇，它的鼻子好长啊。Her nose is long, right? I see another kind of chicken. See that little one? Oh, they are so little. What kind of chicken? They are so little. Oh my God! I want.
Not be so grand.
I think they lay egg. Oh, they make a sound. Are you happy? How are you today? Where's your partner? Oh, they are pretty. See, this white one is pretty. They look look like me. This white one, make it bigger. The white one. The black white. That's look my chicken. Same my chicken. They have dark. No. What's that? What's that kind of bird?
That's the male turkey.
Oh, male turkey. Oh. That's a female?
I think so. Either that or it's the other way around.
Okay. The geese is big. The goose is fight. Sheep. Hi. How are you? First time I see you. Oh my god, first time I see this clothes. Sheep and a goat. There's a goat. Yep. This mother lay down one look like a bigger. Total 10. They eat dry grass. Hay. Hay. 他们吃麦秆。I think they think you have food. They wear white color bra.
Color, they make pretty short work of anything that gets thrown into them.
They like mud. Do they like mud?
You know, I'm not sure how much they really like it. We had one fellow who worked here, and he liked to keep it really wet all the time, and yet I think that they had a hard time moving around. So, but I've seen it when it's too dry as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, but this is, of course, from the rain we just had here. Mm-hmm. So it's not usually quite that wet down here. But some, you know, I'll bet in those 90, 95 degree days, they probably were laying in that mud down there.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen them do that. But they seem pretty chipper in the 70-some degree temperature.
Do you know how old they are?
But they were born in the spring. I forget what it was.
Oh, spring.
March or just, I think it was March. Might have been April. But the arrange, we used to always keep a
year?
Yeah, we used to keep a pair, a boar and a sow, and we would have we'd make our own little piglets. But that becomes somewhat problematic because then you get piglets when you don't really want them, unless you keep them apart, and then they want to tear the place down to get to each other. Say, we have an arrangement with a man from down in southern Chester County who brings a pregnant sow in the springtime, and sometimes she delivers in a day or two. This one we had her here for a couple weeks before she had them, and then she had, I think it was just 5 this year. Last year we had 8.
Oh,
And
that's
so
a
they
lot.
get to a certain age, and I apologize, I don't know what age exactly.
That's okay, no
But
problem.
then he comes and gets the sow, and he takes the other pigs, and he leaves us 2, and we'll keep these until November. Then he'll come and get them, and then so we don't have to feed them all winter long.
Thank you.
You bet.
OK。这个小溪的水呀、非常清澈，住在这旁边一定是很雅致，有山有水。